I don't have a certification for them at this time, but if you guys feel free to ask them any questions you have.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariah McClellan. I am the granddaughter of Ursula Garrow Bendigo. Like Carly stated, my Uncle Bo came to me and had talked to me about being on this unit and taking care of it, and I had the privilege of doing that. After that happened, Bo got a calling to take a mission trip to serve the Lord, and he was really passionate about that. I do know that he came to council, and I believe there was a discussion. Some people told him, don't do this. It will come up, or don't say anything. Just see what happens. We had no idea when he decided to do this. We had no idea how long he would be gone, where he would end up, if it would even be in the United States. But he was passionate about that, and I supported him. And that my grandma became the caretaker of that unit in 1966. So 57 years, they've never this morning talk about taking care of the land. And I don't know if any of you had the privilege to know my grandma Ursula, but she he felt really passionate about what he was going to do, and I supported him. And I don't know that. I hope we don't get faulted for that. It certainly wasn't his intent to lose it or give it up, or and that's why he came to me. He wanted to keep it in our family, and if it's one thing I learned from my grandma Ursula, it was to be kind and respectful. So I do respect the ordinances, and I do respect your decisions. I think my name means the wind, so I'm trying not to get too windy here, but if you have any... Oh, one thing I do want to mention when we talk about the land, about taking good care of it, my Uncle Bo was actually awarded the Excellence in Rangeland Management Award from the Society for Range Management. He did a ton of work down there, and it's a beautiful place, and I can assure you that we're doing all we can to take care of that. Oh, well, the other thing, my grandpa does still live there. I do take care of him. He lives the center of the unit that anchors the headquarters. The trust land is in my name, and my grandpa still resides there to this day, and we do what we can to take care of him, and that's his home. And Grandpa just told me this morning, he said, honey, he said, this ranch it's not a unit, it's not a piece of land. He said, this was our life. This was a way of life. And he said, you have to trust that what's meant to be will be. And anything else? Lastly, good thing he's here, I keep forgetting. My grandma Ursula is buried on this piece of beautiful land.
Well, thank you for coming today. Did you have anything to add, Carrie? She covered everything. Council, do you have anything, comments or questions? Mrs. Hall, go ahead.
Yeah, I worked with Mariah back in 2013 on BIE, and as we got to know each other, found out that we were related through Ursula Garrow. So anyway, that was, finding a relative. The other thing, one thing I wanted to ask you, you own land in there? Okay,
Yep, the center, the headquarters, the 160 acres in the middle, the trust land is in my name.
okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Kessler?
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you guys for coming in today. Chairman, I'd like to see them get consideration to be placed into automatic allocation as well as the other ones that we'll be moving on as we go forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other more comments or questions for Mariah or good Mr. Knife?
That road she talked about, the propane guys are scared to go down that road sometimes. If you die, it's a good road, but it's during the wintertime, it's dangerous. I mean, the propane on it, they always call, is that road good to go? Yeah, it's okay now, but wait, better get out of there as soon as the snow hits. Yes. No, it just
follows is a ridge, but
Yeah, it's a ridge, yeah.
pulls in the wintertime. Like a lot of times they gotta leave a vehicle up on by the corral by Tukini or Cherry Creek Road, I'm not sure what you call it, but then they take a four-wheeler or something up there, 'cause if it rains or snows, they live off down in Bull Creek is what it's called, and it's way down, I mean, it's a steel, you can't take a semi or nothing. Like the propane truck comes in September and fills the tanks, because after that, you never know.
Mr. Thompson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had the privilege to visit with Mariah this morning, and I'm in favor of after hearing their story and considering, I would support that. And I want to tell council this is, what previous councils has done, that's okay, but it's okay for change too. And if this body decides that these people be on automatic, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So I did not know that you guys own land there. That's good to know. It's good to know that your grandpa's still living there. That's good. How old a gentleman is he?
We just celebrated his 87th birthday.
Good for him. Good for him.
And he still comes out and works cows. Sometimes he takes a nap in the pickup, but
That's
he's always
all right.
there.
That's okay. So, I know past councils have done things differently, and I always like sitting around and listening to my dad talk. He got elected in 1988, and back then Ordinance 71 wasn't in. So every year or every 5 years, every unit was up. And he said, "You want to talk about?" They were stacked in there, elbows to elbows, and Bryce says the old lady's hitting you with the cane. That's a true story. That's a true story. So all I'm saying is it's okay for change, I'm glad we're doing this process, and I support them being on automatic allocation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mariah. Thank you. Mr. Moran, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mariah did call me the other day, but as we were speaking, she mentioned her grandfather, right, is still living there. And past reallocations, some were taken away from people, aged people. It seems that they headed to the Star Nation right after that. I mean, it must have broke their heart that they can't do what they love. So it puts a little fear in me to think that if we do that, it might happen again. I don't want to be part of that. But I did talk to living there. He still lives at that
Yes.
the headquarters, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you.
My grandma Ursula passed away in 2003, but he's lived there ever since, or always. Mr. Chairman, if I could say one more thing, I appreciate what you guys are doing today. I know this, every situation is unique. You know, ours isn't necessarily because of a death. It's a totally different situation, but I do appreciate and respect council and what you're doing today. So thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Mariah. Appreciate you guys coming in, and you're welcome to hang out, or we'll excuse you at this time, and you can come back in when we open the doors and we're done doing all these interviews. So,
Mr. Chairman, are you going to vote on them individually or you're
Yeah.
not sure yet?
yeah, we'll just go open the doors and we'll go back down the list and vote on individually. Yes, they're all different, like you said. So,
Sure.
yep.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, the next one we have is Manny and Renee Ironhawk. I don't know where Sergeant went, but you want to get him, Carrie? Thank you. Oh, Manny, come on up. Oh, Renee. Yotaka. We'll have Carly go over the range unit and the issues that have come up, and then you can appeal to the council and tell them what you want to do with the unit, and then if there's any questions after that, we can take those at that time. So, go ahead, Carly.
Okay, Range Unit 154 was originally allocated to Manny and Renee Ironhawk. It is located in the southwest corner of the reservation. It is 69% tribal lands overall. It consists of 850 acres of allotted land and 1,869 acres of tribal land. There is a council action, oh wait, I jumped ahead. Okay, so the reason for Manny and Renee to be on the list today is because they did their count after the deadline. They do have their 50%. There is a motion from the August Land Committee meeting on August 15th to refer to Tribal Council to approve to move Tribal Range Unit 154 to the recommended automatic listing for allocation of the 23-28 grazing period. Go ahead.
Manny, Renee, Oglaka.
Oh, huh. I was going to say good morning, but I think we passed good morning. So, good afternoon, Council. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the last 5 years, BIA Jerry Vine said, Manny, you got to run your horses in and we can count them. So that's what we did last 5 years ago. So this year, we were gonna do that again, but I was building a corral and I worked on it all summer and finally got it done in September. By that time, the count deadline, we missed the count deadline, and but it's not that we didn't have enough horses. We had enough horses in there, and but we counted them afterwards. I think we counted them the June 28th or somewhere around there, and we got the count done at that time. So I was trying to get that crowd done, but talking to some people, they said, "Oh, Manny, you could count them out in the field." So I said, "Okay," and we usually grained our horses, so when you get up there and they hear that sack of sweet mixed oats, they'll come right up to you. So that's what we did, and we counted them, and Bart came down, and then but then we were overstocked, so we took care of that. When day was that? We took care of that on Monday. We had to ship 29 relatives off there, which it's always hard to do that, but we had to do it. So we shipped and sold 29 head, and the horse market isn't that good, so you don't make nothing, pretty much. So I think we're got into compliance now, and we always worked to. And another thing I wanted to mention was all I had was horses, and in the beginning, I was the one that we had to sublease. And the main reason why that happened was because I couldn't secure any finances anywhere. And I said that over here when the USDA came. And so I went to all the banks, and nothing. Timberlake, USDA, nothing. And I applied at Akipta. I've been waiting for 2 years for their reply. And so I don't know. So in the meantime, we just did what we've been doing without no loan or nothing. And we've been just subleasing, and this past fall, we subleased to a tribal member. So that's how we've been going along. And we've been sharing our horses with whoever would, or trade or whatever we needed to do with other people. And talked to Julie Garrow was over here, because we always talk with the students on Thursdays over here, but they're not ready for a horse equine program there yet. Otherwise, I was gonna donate some horses there, but they're not equipped yet. So maybe down the years when they're ready, we could do that too. And I appreciate your vote today. It's that range unit has been in there. That's my grandpa Bill Warbonnet had it in the 60s. Mom had it, and then I have it now. But as far as making money, I don't make no money, because all we have is our horses in there, and so that is what the story is about at this time.
Peto Ashte, Mitako Yape, Renee Ironhawk, Washichia, Imachiapi, Tokahe Hihuniwi, Lakolia Chashem. I greet you today with a good heart. And I just want to share that back in 2014, I had a kind of like a dream or a vision, and like one of our horses came to me in this vision, and he spoke to me in Lakota and said that they wanted to be helping us more with the young people. So from there, I slowly started trying to create a nonprofit, which I finally got completed on September of 2021. I received a nonprofit status, and we got a letter from the IRS saying we're a nonprofit, and we really want to utilize our horses to help young people. And we kind of put it into practice when I got custody of my grandchildren in 1999. So we had our grandsons kind of helping us with the horses, and there's a bond and connection there between young people and horses, I believe, because they made a connection, and we helped with a spiritual ride when they had the COVID, and the young riders of Bridger wanted to go around to all the checkpoints. So we supported our grandchildren in doing that too. So we've been slowly but surely and I really want to stress that we have to get back to our cultural ways. We have to teach our young people that they are part of a horse nation, and they're part of a buffalo nation, and they do have roots. We all come from a very great people, but we've been traumatized by the majority society telling us that we're not as good enough. We get treated really badly, and over the past 150 plus years, we've been totally attacked. Everything about our culture, our language, but we have to find a way back to accepting our culture and our language and our ways. And I believe our horses can help our young people to do this. And, our Mother Earth is in pretty dire straits right now, so we got to start making a connection with her somehow, helping our young people to make that connection with her. And it's hello? It's really serious, but I just want to stress that to you all, that, we're not the typical range unit producers, but we do have a purpose. We do have a goal or a vision for what we want to do. And we hope you'll support us with that. But I did put in for a grant with, it's called the Strong Heart Tribal Approach to Research. And it's only a $30,000 grant, but they're meeting on it right now. And I submitted it last month in October. and I got an email confirming they received it and they're meeting on it, and we'll know by November 10th if we were approved. But I have that information here. I have the information from the IRS saying that we are a nonprofit and we're tax exempt. So we do receive donations from our supporters, and that's how we were able to build our corral, by people making donations. And you know, our business isn't about making profit off of our horses. Our business is about helping our horses to help our young people. So I hope you would consider that when you make your decision. And thank you for listening to me. Pilamayaya.
Okay, I got Mr. Bringsponey, Mr. Walters, and Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, executives, council. Carly? Oh, Mr. Ironhawk. Mr. Ironhawk. May not know me. My name is Joe Bringsponey. Good to meet you. Nah. I just want to say, you know, they missed the deadline. They obviously have the over 50%. You know, I'll support them and getting their unit back. Especially the work they're doing with the horses and the youth. I really support that because, you know, our children needed a lot of support, and then to the future too as well. Gilamia. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Walters, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know Tuffy's going to talk for hours, but I just want you to know I'm going to support you. And you'll be, you know, leave here today without worrying about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How, Manny?
Oh.
He come to land committee and explained his situation. I'm going to support him. But after hearing his story, Chairman, I think when we get this CREP deal up and running, that program will help Manny. Manny should be able to come to this tribe and we develop a agriculture program that would allow Manny to purchase some livestock or some horses, and it's something we can develop to help Manny and his family do. If we get it up and running, we can develop a program where Manny don't have to worry about a bank, or he don't have to worry about an FSA office. He could come to his tribe and we can help him. So I support him. I'm going to vote for it. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Moran.
Renee, Manny. But I see Chipelo. Daya hip. Well, Shunko Khan. There's a reason why I say Shunko Wakhan. The sacred to us is the Lakota, a being that came, and without them, I think we would have had some rough times without them, without the horses. We revere the horse. And when Renee was talking about how there could be a therapy, probably that could help anybody, the oldest person or what kinds of. And I like that. I'll stay down Chanapé. I heard some things in the past about Shunko Khan, hey, Kankep. A horse that had some horns. Lanny LaPlante, he told that Hunkpa boy, I think over at the Standing Rock area, there was a dance, horse dance, and here when they came in, particularly the one he's talking about, the horns, what she could. So they have a spirit, you know. So they help us with our life. And it's I'm proud of these guys when they do that. Horse therapy programs anywhere on the reservoir, anywhere else for that matter. So,
Mr. Russo.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. You also have my support, but I wanted to just talk on a couple of things that kind of worry me, Chairman LeBeau. is I see this with the compliance officers, I see this with the bankers, and so they're purposely working together, conspiring with each other, and it's not a conspiracy theory. You know, they're getting these counts laid on purpose. They're not giving our members access to capital, and now you see an elder bringing this to our attention, and you know the hardships that he's facing. And why are we not allowing all members? You know, when four bands first started, that was their big thing. You know, they're going to help our members get access to capital. You know, low credit, no collateral. You know, all these things that keep us from getting loans. They were supposed to do that, but today, you know, you have to have a good credit now. You have to have all this other good stuff to before you can even get a loan. So, you know, the systems. The sovereign government we exist in is we're using our sovereignty to hurt our members rather than to help our members. So, you know, and unfortunately, seems to be the full bloods or those that practice our culture that you know that aren't Christians or that don't practice Christianity. Those are the ones that are being left out. So I want to make sure that you know, in moving forward under your leadership, your administration, Mr. LeBeau, that we start eradicating these wrongs that are continuing to disparage and to oppress our membership here on the reservation. And it starts here, you know, the range unit allocation. So that being said, I see a lot of patterns. We talked about this before. I tried to have my colleague make an amendment to just approve all these into automatic allocation. And now I'm kind of curious, you know, so whose units do we not want to give back? Because so far, we're giving everyone's back, and I support that. Should have just been on the automatic allocation, but they weren't. So why weren't they? And why are we going through this lengthy process to, you know, create this trauma that we're contributing to our members that are, you know, worried about whether they're going to have a range unit tomorrow or not, when we should be looking at the circumstances that they're facing and help them instead of contributing to this further duress. So is that something we can do in the future, Chairman LeBeau, to start making sure that these resources, that there's a lot more fairness, and that, you know, if someone is leasing tribal land, that they're practicing, and they don't necessarily have to practice it, but at least respect it. You know, don't go to your school boards at your public schools or your churches and condemn our way of life. Don't make fun of the families that are struggling to get to town to get resources, and when they're there, you know, treat them disrespectfully or not even be open. You know, that's an insult too when they travel a long distance and then the office is closed. So, you know, we need to do better, and we need to change the way that we move that better helps our members. So I'd like to see that, but also, you know, why can't we just approve all these? Is there one in here that we're not going to approve that we haven't got to yet? Chairman LeBeau? Was there a meeting before this meeting where we decided that we weren't going to give 1 or 2 units back? Yeah, no, I just did. But I'm asking you that question real quick while they're here.
Any other comments for Manny or Renee, council members? Mr. Underwoods?
Riska porque shungwa kankile washi na wakia na ia na tanupa kile ahip na tipestela maha tanupa obaki na kuskala kile shungwa kanki dopa yahap na hip na hoshoka kile tima hip na wachata wachip chonchega na hokawi sasa loa kile wakia ki ahi. There's I think the only one that I heard of that tried to get a horse dance was Victor Harrell. He was looking for support to have a horse dance ceremony. My mother down in Rescop, she seen these chachas and tipestela pagina chanupa. She knew those 4 young guys that were on those horses. So when they were coming in, they had masks on, so you couldn't tell who they were. And when they come into that arena arbor, the singer started singing. And as soon as they come in, those horses started dancing. They started dancing around. When they do that, then the Wakinas come, lightning all around. You know, that's the connection we have when we say Matake Oyasi. And in Black Hawk's dream, he seen those horses and that song there too. So it goes way back. So it seems like we're just scratching the surface on things we do. When that horse has power, like Renee said, they can talk to you. Omakashka, even the winged ones, you know, they speak Lakota too. So these are things, when you say culture, tradition, and language, you need to understand those things. Some of you probably heard things, and some of you don't say nothing. So to me, you don't know nothing about these things. I don't mean to offend anybody, but the real Lakota speaking Tijuana here are being ignored by this government body. And that horse is got a lot of power, and it's under attack right now. And they always try to wipe out these wild herds, you know, and through helicopters and firepower, you know, the white man's way. We don't need that. We don't need the white man's way here. We need our way. I mean, things will really happen good. We're not no white economists and white, you know, businessman. That's why nothing works for us here, because we don't have that full understanding of what Sitting Bull said. Take the best of that white man and the best of the Lakotas and make a world for their children. We're not even doing that. English only. That's why I say it's a failed system, because you're ignoring the real deal. That real deal is coming too. It's in order to save us. Because you guys ain't comprehending that. That's why I'm saying godless now. You know, you don't have a God, man. You need to. Phenomenal.
Papalamia, Renee, Manny, for coming in, and we're going to go through the rest of these lists and interview, and they're all different, you know. Some are passed on or no longer here, so we got to go through that as well. So, and you're welcome to hang out and come back in when you open the doors, so you can see how your council votes and what they do. So, Papalamia. Council, before we go to the next one, they brought us food. They brought you food. So, respect to the people that prepared it, we'll ask Mr. Moran to give a meal blessing.
Chairman, I get a